went into that treatment facility having a horrible relationship with my parent, but I was mentally stable. When I left, I was petrified of my parent. I was terrified that they would put me back there. And I was terrified of everything. I started thinking that I was insane. I don't like that word, but that is what I thought. I remember thinking that maybe my parent was right. Maybe I am what they say. I remember sitting out in the backyard, and I heard my parent through the window talking to someone, saying that I was just zoned out, that I had no will to do anything. And they made it sound like I had officially lost it, and that they were terrified of me and what I would do to them in their sleep. I remember hearing this conversation outside, and I was outside just taking in the sounds of the birds, the smell of spring. 6 weeks doesn't seem like a long time. I didn't go outside for 6 weeks. I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody there. The only time that words came out of my mouth is if they passed me food and I said thank you. Unfortunately for my parent, I snapped out of that real quick. I quickly realized they were not a safe person. I couldn't trust them again. And I just started ignoring them, not wanting to be near them again. I want to make it clear, I wasn't hurting anybody. I wasn't screaming at anybody. I wasn't swearing at anybody. I just didn't want to be around them. I was great at school, still wasn't skipping school, had fairly good grades, especially for someone like myself who was untreated with ADHD. I did, however, have criminal charges against me. Theft under $5,000. I was in the end of grade 9. I found out that my parent and their fiance had decided to press criminal charges against me. Theft under $5,000. All the cash that had gone missing a year, 2 years ago, I don't remember the timeline, that I never took, but I always got blamed for. It was their way of teaching me that I couldn't get away with these type of acts. I never stole a penny from them, but I found out I had criminal charges. They had laid the charges, so I was going to court for it. I had yet to be at court. The way that they explained it to me was they felt I needed to learn that it's not okay to do these things, so they pressed these charges against me, but they put me in a treatment facility in hopes that a judge would see that I was being helped, and they would I told you a few videos ago that you probably wouldn't believe this. It was exam week at school, an exam to go to. So I put on pajama pants and a t-shirt, like 95% of the other students at my high school. I remember my parents saying to me, you're not walking out of the house wearing that. You look homeless, they're gonna judge us, blah, 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 blah. And I kept saying, but everyone is wearing sweatpants or pajama pants. These were like fleece pajamas that had like reindeer or something on them. And I had like a basic t-shirt on. At 2 p.m. that day, police came to my school and insisted I go with them back home because they had been called by my parent, and they had told the police that I was running away with a friend. I told them I wasn't, that I was gonna go right back home, and I like after school, and my house was a 5-minute walk, and I would walk back home, but they wouldn't let me. They said they knew my mental health history, and they were afraid for my safety, my well-being, so I had to go with them to go home. So I agreed, mortified, because obviously kids at school saw me go in the police car. When I got there, my parent was there, her fiance was not there, and my younger sister was not there, and there was a woman. And when I walked in, the police asked if they felt safe with them leaving. I laughed. I remember, like, it was a cocky laugh, like, what? I remember my parent saying that they didn't feel safe with them leaving. But the woman who was there said, nope, you can leave. It's fine. And I was very confused. I was very confused what was happening. It turned out that she was a social worker from Child Protective Services. She was there to inform me that I was going into foster care. Over, the years growing up, I had been threatened a lot. My behavior was so horrible that my parent would put me in foster care or in a group home or whatever. And one of my favorite movies growing up was Annie. So I remember picturing having to go to like an orphanage type of place where it was just like abuse after abuse after abuse. I was petrified. I was petrified. At the same time, I remember thinking, oh my God, like, I'm leaving with you? She was the sweetest person that I had really ever encountered in, my childhood. My parents sat on the couch crying, saying they had tried everything to help me, to make our home safe for everybody, but they were afraid of what I would do to them or my sister, and that my parent had no choice but to put me in foster care. In fact, I have my parents' handwritten note still that they wrote when I went to foster care. So I'm going to grab it and I will read it for you.